This is the Best DJ Software 2025. It's a live show from the school Digital DJ Tips. I will give you our views on what you should be using as a DJ. We'll give you some tips on choosing and using your DJ software, some pitfalls. And we'll also, of course, because we're a school with real students and because this is live, open it up, as we always do, to our fantastic community who are already here filling up the chat, and I will answer questions. So if you are with us live on YouTube, Facebook or Twitch, ask away. If you're not, it doesn't matter, because my team will get back to you with any questions you need answering if you just ask underneath the recording where you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube. Sound good? Let's get started. So we're talking DJ software today. And DJ software is a curious thing because in today's digital DJing age, unfortunately, you can't escape DJ software. You do need it. So beginner DJs might say, hey, I want to use my iPad, or I just want to use a streaming service. I just want to plug Apple Music in and stuff. And you can do all that nowadays. But you still need DJ software. Rightly or wrongly, for better or worse, it's just a non-negotiable. Let me explain to you why that's the case. So obviously, if you're a laptop DJ or you want to use one of those amazing DJ apps on your phone or whatever, you're going to need DJ software. Stands to reason. That's what runs on the laptop or on the phone. But DJ software really becomes an essential as soon as you start getting serious about DJing and start buying and collecting your own music. Because as soon as you do that, and you have to do that, by the way, you can't stream music and expect to be taken seriously as a DJ. There's lots of reasons why just renting your music from streaming services is not good enough. You are going to need to start collecting local files, stuff like people used to, music you buy and download and you keep locally and you have to keep a backup of in case you lose it and so on. As soon as you start doing that, you need software, because the software lets you organize and back up, make playlists from, and just generally prepare that music so it works better in your DJ system. Now from there, you've got two choices. From there, you can either buy DJ gear that is, for instance, like Pro gear is, but also nowadays there's a lot of far cheaper gear that does a similar thing, which basically means you don't need your laptop. You export the music, or in the modern age, you can even put it in somewhere like Dropbox and just log into it from that kind of gear, but it's still your music. You still bought it, you still arranged it, Either way, and it's usually you're still exporting it. You're exporting it to an SD card, or nowadays it's normally a USB pen drive, right? And then you take that music with you, exported, prepared, all ready to go, and you plug it into the Pro gear or to your all-in-one big flash DJ unit. And you DJ away from your computer. So your computer has been used to do all those preparation things. But the other way of DJing, of course, if you are a laptop DJ, if you've bought what is called a DJ controller, which is a device that looks like this but doesn't do anything until you plug it into the laptop. If you've got that kind of system, then the software has a second purpose. And the second purpose, as well as preparing all your music, is to be a performance app. In other words, it is the DJ gear. Your gear is just controlling it, hence the word controller. And so in that instance, the software is a performance tool as well. You could actually unplug the DJ gear and still DJ on the software, because the software is doing all the heavy lifting, it's doing all the hard work, right? So there's two separate things that you need the software for, potentially. You're going to choose one of them. Some DJ gear will let you do both, and we'll get onto that. The best DJ gear, if you're into that kind of thing, that is designed to do that, will let you not only DJ with the laptop plugged in, say when you're at home, but then you could leave the laptop at home and take the gear with you and DJ without the laptop away from home, as an example. So there is some gear that will let you do both, and more importantly, some software that will let you do both. So software is important once we start getting serious about our DJing. So let's have a couple of tips and then we'll move on to talking about our favorite software 2025. So here's the tips I want to share with you. And we have got an article about this. I'll show it to you in a minute where you can go and read everything I'm about to say. So if you're getting serious and you think you're at school, because we are a DJ school, put your pad away. You don't need to remember anything here. So look, these are tips that have come from us teaching tens of thousands of people to DJ, things that people often get wrong. So the first thing is, DJs think they need to master lots of different types of software. Hey, there's all these DJ platforms out there. I need to figure them all out. You just don't. They all do the same thing. It's far better to pick one and master that. Because that moves me on to my next point. None of these platforms are perfect. Sadly, all of them are far from perfect. I don't know if it's something to do with the fact that the DJ world isn't very big, or these companies tend to be bought and sold, and so they're always trying to turn a profit at the expense sometimes of their users. Everything seems to be more expensive in the DJ world and you get less quality for it, as a personal view. But whatever it is, none of these platforms are perfect. It's not possible to buy or to subscribe to a DJ software platform and get everything. Just like, you know, you can't buy all your favorite music from the same download store or whatever. Some of them will always do something better than others. So look, it's better to get used to the one you've got and to work around its limitations and realize that 80% of what they do is the same. And the extra 20% on top is not really very important. If you think of DJing like a musical skill, well, hey, you know, every guitar will let you play guitar. Every DJ software platform will let you DJ. The important stuff is nothing to do with the software. They're all good enough. It's worth knowing. So the next question that beginners say is, okay, so if I just have to pick a platform and I'm not sure which one to pick, how do I, you know, what's everyone else using? Well, this is an easy question to answer. We, every year, conduct the global DJ census where we have, I think it was 15,000 DJs, 15,000 of you, so thank you for taking part this year, took part in this, and you tell us what you use. So the two biggest platforms are Serato and Rekordbox. Behind those two platforms are Traktor and VirtualDJ. And then Djay Pro is the only other big one I'm going to mention. Anything else is an also ran. So they're the big ones. Serato and Rekordbox way out front. Then you've got VirtualDJ and Traktor. And then behind all of those four, you've got Algorithm's Djay Pro software. We're going to look at all of these platforms in a minute, but if you want the raw numbers, that's the order that they come in. Most DJs, therefore, are using either Rekordbox or Serato. So you're probably going to be choosing one of those two platforms. All right, that's the basics. Let's now have a look at the platforms themselves and we'll talk about the differences between them. And, you know, the truth is there's no perfect platform. There's no platform that is the absolute best. So we have this article on Digital DJ Tips. If you head to digitaldjtips.com to this homepage here, click on news or free guides. They'll both get you there. You will get to our best DJ software 2025 article you'll see here. Or just click the search box in the top right hand corner and search for it and you will find it. And so here we talk through what they all do. Now, if you're very, very observant, you might see in my title there's a platform I haven't mentioned, Engine DJ. All the others I've mentioned are there. Why didn't I mention Engine DJ? Because Engine DJ is the only one that doesn't let you plug in a laptop and DJ with it in the kind of traditional software manner. It's only for preparing your music and then playing away from the laptop on Engine DJ powered equipment. So in a way it isn't DJ software, but in a way it is, because without it you can't use that equipment. It will all become clear when we come and talk about them all now. All right, so do go and take a look at this because it explains everything I just talked to you about. Also explains why you can trust us, by the way, because we are completely independent of all these companies. None of them pay us anything. And quite often they get a little bit, you know, like, oh, why were you saying that ours isn't as good as theirs and all that stuff? And the beauty is that as a school that has people who use all these platforms, we're very, very careful to be utterly unbiased about them all. Right, so this article will tell you about the things I just talked about. It will explain about preparing your library. It will explain all about what I said about performing with software. And then it moves on to telling you all about the platforms, which is what we're going to do now. We're going to talk about the platforms, starting with Rekordbox, which is currently at Rekordbox 7. Rekordbox is the platform that's made by Pioneer DJ, or nowadays Alpha Theta, the company that makes the kind of gear that you see in pro DJ booths. It's the software that therefore lets you prepare your music. If you're using one of their controllers, you plug into it and DJ from it. But if you are using this kind of gear or any of their gear that doesn't need a laptop, equally the same library that you've prepared can be used on there. One of its great strengths is that it is officially from a company that supports both kinds of DJing and makes the hardware to support both kinds of DJing as well. So if you're one of these DJs who increasingly we see nowadays who wants to be able to either do it with or without the laptop, depending on how you feel, Rekordbox might well be the platform you go for. I want you to bear in mind as we're talking through this, none of them are perfect. And Rekordbox, it certainly is not perfect. It is clunky. It is infuriating at times. It's slow at times. Some of the workflows, and you can see it churning away in the background sometimes, and you think, God, this is second-rate experience. Even on the best computers, it's not the best. But it's made by a DJ company that makes the gear and understands what DJs want. So it's almost like they know that and they're trying to improve it and they're doing their best. What was I saying about the DJ world earlier? Maybe slightly more controversial though with it is it's only subscription. So when you buy DJ gear that works with this, most of the stuff will work okay with it, but you will be prompted to buy a subscription to it over and over again. Even we're getting reports when you resize the window on your computer, as soon as you resize the window, it says, hey, you should subscribe. And look, this is a little bit, it's not ideal. The subscriptions force you to use their cloud. Cloud is the way forward, arguably, for all kinds of things. Most of our lives are in the cloud nowadays. But if you don't want that, you're paying for something you don't need, etc., etc. The articles go into it in a bit more detail. But do bear in mind, there is no such thing as perfect DJ software. So Rekordbox, you'll see in the article, with all of these, I give you some ticks and some crosses to tell you the pluses and minuses. It is a club standard platform. It annoys people who use other software when we call Rekordbox and Pioneer DJ and Alpha Theta the club standard, but it is. It also has most of the modern features that you need. And the free version, to be fair, is pretty powerful, but you can't buy it outright. You do need to subscribe for the advanced features. And the real-time stems function is not as good as the others. This is one of the cutting edges of DJ software at the moment. Instant acapella, instant instrumental. It's just not as good as the others. So that's Rekordbox. However, a lot of you will end up using it purely because it is the default with the equipment you buy. The equipment from this manufacturer is by far and away the most popular. So there you go. Next though is Serato. So Serato is a platform that has traditionally been really big with hip hop DJs, with USA-centric DJs, stateside software, but it's also very popular worldwide. It's a platform that moves quite slowly, but the people who run it really know what DJs want. So if you can stick with the fact that it doesn't get the best features fastest, when they do arrive, they tend to be pretty road tested and pretty good. So Serato works with various equipment. They don't make their own equipment, but it does work with various equipment from manufacturers who are people like Roland, like Reloop, like Den & DJ, like Newmark. Some of those brands also work with other software, and some of those brands have different ways of working, but you can generally find gear that works with it. And Serato is also good for DVS when you're controlling the software with real vinyl, with those systems that plug your turntables cleverly into your software. It's kind of the only one anyone uses in that world. Hence it's popular with hip hop DJs. So our ticks and minuses with Serato are, it is pretty highly featured and a good all-round choice at home with most kinds of music. But the free version that comes with cheaper gear really is not very good. You're going to want to upgrade. And even if you buy more expensive gear that unlocks the good version of Serato, there is something very obvious and necessary missing, which irks me a lot. It doesn't have a plugin called Pitch and Time. And Pitch and Time lets you change the key of a song. Now, the way we teach DJing at Digital DJ Tips, the way we teach it involves something called fuzzy key mixing, which has now been adopted by most of the DJ industry as the way to do it. Involves you needing the ability to change the key of songs when you're mixing them. And it doesn't have it, even on the Pro version. So if you accidentally end up with hardware that unlocks Serato DJ Pro, but doesn't give you that Pitch and Time expansion pack, you're going to pay hundreds just to get it. It's unfair. And I talk to them about it every year saying, come on, please fix it. It didn't used to be that way, but they won't. So look, be very careful when you're buying Serato DJ enabled equipment that it has Pitch and Time, it's all written down in there, as well as Serato DJ Pro. Otherwise, it's going to be a very expensive mistake for you. You can buy their software and you can subscribe as well. So there's a pro tip there. You don't have to subscribe like you do with Rekordbox. So I guess that's a good thing. So Serato, I would say, if Rekordbox is best for club and club aspiring DJs and also DJs who definitely want to play with and without the laptop. Serato, if you're happy to play with a laptop, especially if you want to use vinyl, and especially if you make sure your equipment comes with that all-important Pitch and Time plugin, then you're good to go with Serato. again, a very popular platform. So remember I said the next two platforms are, they kind of carve out third place between them. They are Traktor and VirtualDJ. Let's look at them both then. So Traktor Pro is now up to Traktor Pro 4. It has had a kind of shot in the arm recently. It was certainly neglected for several years. Most of us kind of gave up on it, but it's back. It's now got stems. It's now got elastic beat gridding. Just trust me, you need that. And so it is never going to be as fully featured as the others, I don't think. They just can't keep up. I think their R&D, their research and development is just not big enough to react quickly to what's going on. It doesn't have video, for instance, doesn't have any cloud features. But all that said, it's got great audio quality. Electronic music lovers seem to love it because it's got great looping, and it's just very good at what it does, even though what it does isn't quite as widespread as the other platforms. It does feel a bit dated. They have updated it in some areas, but it does still feel a bit dated. If you're looking at it on a modern screen, some of the graphics look like they were, you know, they were hot 10 years ago, but they aren't now, and that's because they haven't changed them in 10 years. But look, all that said, it sounds good. It is cheap. It's $99 to buy Traktor. And it comes with all their gear, and that's the full version. So there's none of this trying to lock you in or upsell you or give you a subscription or all that. So Traktor is a good choice if you're into electronic music, I would say, especially if you're someone who uses other native instruments equipment, because it's kind of part of their ecosystem. So maybe you're a Machina user, or you use, you know, any of their keyboards or whatever. You might just find that it's a better fit for you than some of the other platforms. And so the other name in this kind of third place is VirtualDJ. So VirtualDJ is a curious one. VirtualDJ doesn't get the respect that it kind of deserves. And, you know, they're kind of the black sheep of the DJ world, if you like. They're kind of, I mean, even this week, they put out some really bizarre video that just, I don't know. You go look for their latest advert on Facebook, you'll see what I mean. They're certainly carving their own niche, and I don't think they really seem to care that much about becoming, you know, a mainstream respected platform. But I'm not slagging them off for that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Far from it. VirtualDJ costs you a fair but reasonably large amount to buy. It's a few hundred to buy it, but then it's yours for life. I bought mine in 2004, and it's still being updated 20 years on. So look, in a world of corporate, you know, profiteering and subscriptions and features being hidden from you without you realizing it till it's too late and all that, VirtualDJ is very fair. VirtualDJ has got really high quality features. It is engineered by people who basically know what they're doing with the software, and a lot of the stuff that has come to the other platforms came first to VirtualDJ. It tends to be loved by people who don't give two hoots about whether everyone else is using it or not, and maybe probably quite like the fact that they're with a renegade platform. And it is generally mobile and karaoke and wedding type DJs that use it, although it will work for any kind of music. And so VirtualDJ, as I say, gets a bit of a bad rep. I think the name lets it down a bit. I've always said that. I've always told them that. And I don't know, I just think that maybe they need a marketing agency to just help them get their message right. Or maybe they don't care. The other thing about VirtualDJ is it works with everything, because they don't really have many licensing arrangements in place with the big hardware companies like Serato does, and they don't make hardware like Rekordbox does or Traktor. Because of those things, they just make sure it works with everything. And to be fair, it does. Sometimes it works even better than the software that the hardware was designed for. That's how good they are. So VirtualDJ, pluses and minuses. Powerful, advanced, lots of exciting features. It's yours for life once you've bought it. You can subscribe, but it's yours for life. But it's not as slick as some. The waveforms are a little bit choppy and changing, and it's also not got the best effects. I wish they'd fix that actually, because I just think, you know, if they did, I could recommend it even more. Anyway, if you like VirtualDJ, you probably already know, and it's most people's favorite second software, I would say, because once they try it, they say, you know what, this is really good, and they always keep it on their computer just in case. Anyway, so that's VirtualDJ, carving out third place alongside Traktor. I think they've both got about 10% of our students that are using them. All right, so now we're going to move on to the final one, which comes up behind the rest of them, but it is kind of coming up at some speed. It's been there for a long time. It's called Djay Pro. Now, Djay Pro is a platform that is on Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS. You know, the others are just basically Mac and Windows, although Rekordbox does work quite nicely on Apple platforms and Android as well. But Djay Pro is the most accomplished across all those platforms. It is the best software. If software was the only thing that mattered, Djay Pro would be our winner. Not that we've got a winner, because as you're seeing, it all depends on what you want. But Djay Pro is basically written by a software company. That's what they do. They're all programmers, they're all coders. They don't make hardware. They're not, yes, they're DJs. Yes, they love the DJ world, but they're not as connected to it as some of these companies are. And so it's software, just as a piece of software, is fantastic. It's properly coded, it's fast, it's smooth, it's powerful. Its features are really up to date. You know, just as a piece of software, it's really good. Where it is let down is in its integration with hardware. Now, they've actually had some pretty big leaps towards getting better with that, but it's still not there. It doesn't use the screens in more expensive hardware properly or at all. It's kind of nearly there in so many areas, but not quite. The integrations tend to be with cheaper hardware, with more consumer hardware and so on. So it's not really a professional choice despite the name, but ironically, it's the best programmed of them all. It's beautiful. It's, you know, the problem with DJ software is it's closer to, well, it's not very close to the software that we're actually used to. You know, if you use photo software or video software or production software on your computer, you know what good software feels like. Djay Pro feels like that. And it's the only DJ app that does. But it's about the bigger ecosystem, and they're not quite there for me. But that said, it's a wonderful piece of software. We love it. We love using it. Every time we open it, we're happy to use it and pleased to use it. But you might just have to jump through a few hoops to get it working with the equipment you want, or you might be limited in the equipment that you use it with. So Djay Pro it tends to be one that hobby DJs like, and also that DJs who just dabble a bit like. If you're dabbling, don't look any further. And if you're using cheaper equipment, then it's definitely, it's got some really nice integrations. They just announced an integration with the Alpha Theta DDJ Groove 6, for instance, that I haven't looked at yet, but from what I've heard is really nice. So it's getting there, Djay Pro. So in summing up everything, I'm going to loop you back to what I said at the beginning, which is there's one piece of software we haven't touched on, which is Engine DJ. Let's talk about Engine DJ then. So Engine DJ is the only piece of DJ software, as I said, that isn't really DJ software. You can't DJ on it. All you can do is prepare your music on it. But once you have prepared your music and you have exported it to a USB drive and plugged it into a piece of Engine DJ powered equipment, so we're talking Denon DJ's equipment, the Numark Mix Stream equipment, and so these devices are designed to work without a laptop, and they are the most powerful units that work without a laptop, and they're powered by this. So you have the Engine DJ software embedded in the unit, and you also have it on your laptop to prepare the music. And so Engine DJ is the best platform for DJing without a laptop actually with you when you're performing, because it's got more features, it's more powerful, it's faster, it's cleaner, it's just the nicest experience. It's better than Alpha Theta's Rekordbox. The downside, well, I've already mentioned it, it's not DJ software. So if you want an all-encompassing piece of equipment that lets you do everything, I mean, this will let you do it, for instance, but also the all-in-ones like the RX3 from Pioneer DJ or the XDJ AZ from Alpha Theta, those units, they'll let you plug into Rekordbox and use it as software, and they'll also let you do what Engine DJ does for Engine DJ powered equipment and DJ without the software, and just take a USB drive with you. So that is the big advantage and disadvantage of Engine. It powers some of the loveliest hardware out there that you don't need a laptop for, but if you also want to be a software DJ, you also want to DJ from your laptop, then you can't currently do it with this platform, which I think is a shame, because I would love to see that. It would probably be really one of the best of the lot if they could find their way to the business case, if you like, for doing that. So that's Engine DJ. Let's have a little sum up then. So you've got Rekordbox, Probably the most popular, certainly not the best programmed, certainly it's infuriating and the pricing is a little bit dicey, but it works with all Pioneer DJ and Alpha Theta, nearly all their gear. It's advanced, especially in the cloud area. And if you want to be a club DJ or a club aspiring DJ, it's probably your best choice. Serato, it's a great solid all-rounder. Their pricing has got more predatory, and I really don't like the fact that they're messing people around with the lack of key shifting in their software. But all that said, very popular software, great for just a general all-rounder and also for DVS, and it's very popular in the US and in hip-hop community as well. And then below those two big ones, we've got Traktor and VirtualDJ. Both have their pros and cons. Both are completely covered here, along with links where you can find out more about them. So, you know, they're going to be solid choices too. Djay Pro, the best software, but probably best if you're a bit of a casual DJ. You're not taking it too seriously at this point in your career. And then Engine DJ, it's the one you will be using if you buy some of that wonderful hardware that is powered by it. So kind of to sum up, you've probably figured out there isn't a best piece of DJ software. And the other thing I want to make clear here, because you're probably then saying, well, if there's no best, how do I choose? Is there's two things. One, what's everyone around you using? What are your friends using? What are they using in the venues that you want to play at? What's the DJ software in your scene, in your town, in your part of the world? Because it is different wherever you are. Go with that one maybe, because you've got a built-in community of people around you and you'll find it easier to DJ with these people if you're all using the same stuff. Secondly, you're going to be spending a lot of time with this. You know the old proverb, you know, buy good shoes and a good bed, because if you're not in one, you're in the other. You're going to be spending a lot of time with your DJ software. If you just look at it and it makes your skin crawl. I remember when I first started DJing, two of the big names at the time, 2004, when I first started digital DJing, were Traktor and VirtualDJ. Now at the time, VirtualDJ had these cute little decks with real arms that came over and they span, and it just looked like my DJ gear. Traktor looked like you were literally walking into a, you know, a modern jet airliner cockpit, and I just thought, I can't DJ with that. I can't DJ with it. It literally looks like I would be DJing with a flight deck. I'm going to go with this VirtualDJ one, right? And I DJed with it for years. I was very happy with it. I did it on instinct. So look, you're going to be spending a lot of time with it. Which one do you like the look of? Which one looks like it's going to work for you? But of course, the hardware you buy is influenced by the software you want to use. But at the same time, the software might influence your hardware. So do use this guide that we've got here. Do head to Digital DJ Tips and look at our Best DJ Software 2025 guide, because it just isn't as simple as me saying, oh, this is the best one, everyone should get that. It depends on all these things that we've talked about. And of course, you might already be heading down the road. You might already have bought your hardware, in which case you'll find that there's a limit to the software that you can use on it. And so that's going to be limiting you as well. So I don't want to tell you to get rid of your hardware and get something else, because like I said at the very beginning, the truth is DJ software, it can all do the stuff that you need to DJ, and DJing is not about the gear. As we say in the book, which by the way, if you would like a copy of this for free, just head over to the Digital DJ Tips website and click that join link at the top there. This big purple one up there, pink one. Click that and you can grab a copy of this for free with our compliments. But as we say in our book, there are 5 big areas of DJing: gear, music, mixing, performing, and success. It's there on page 7, or it used to be page 7. It's page 4 now, hey? In the second edition, it's on page 4. Gear includes the software. It's number 1, because without that, you can't do any of this stuff. But the reason it's number 1 is you move past it. You're not a DJ because you've got DJ gear or DJ software. You're a DJ because you then get the music and then you learn to mix on it and then you learn to perform. None of those things require you to keep changing or worrying about your software, right? So figure it out, choose one, and then move past there. Move into what DJing is really about, which is all the other things that I just mentioned. If you're watching this live, then of course you're waiting to hear questions and to have your comments acknowledged, which is what we're going to do now. Even if you're watching the replay though, hang around, because this is often the best bit, where we spend 10 minutes at the end talking about this with the wonderful community of Digital DJ Tips. And I can see there's an awful lot of, and there always is, you know, you lot are extremely grown up, friendly and constructive. You know, some places when you say, oh, I think this is better than that, we get the, oh, you're just getting paid to say that. Well, as I said at the beginning, we're not, we never will be. But not here. It's wonderful to chat with you guys about this. So let's have a chat about DJ software then. So hello to all of our regulars. Just I'll call 2 or 3 of you out before we get started. Sarah, Kesha, Jonathan, DJ Samman, I Am Preacher Man, DJ Shaky, Stefano, Spiros and Michael and Jack in Florida, and DJ Adrian. Hello to the lot of you. And hi Mixmaster John Roback as well. Not seen you for a little while, don't think. Anyway, let's pull up your questions and your comments then about DJ software. So Matt says, I want to try Rekordbox. When will they have better stems? Until then, I'll stick with Serato. How long's a piece of string? They're always improving. Every platform always improves. You know, there's always going to be a platform that's improved quicker than yours on something you want, but yours will catch up. So look, stick with what you've got, or switch to one that you like for other reasons and trust that they will catch up. They will in the end, usually. Apostolist says, I'm still loyal to Traktor. I've used Rekordbox to prepare music for USBs and I find its workflow quite unintuitive. Traktor has been slow with releases for a bit, but it's now picked up again. And I think its effects are fantastic. They certainly are. And the fact that it's so modular means I can map equipment that's not intended for DJing alongside my controller for a tailored experience. Yeah, Traktor is very good for fiddlers, for those who like MIDI mapping and so on. It certainly is. You know, the truth is, in that comment, Apostolos has hit the nail on the head. You know, you get used to the workflow of the software that you're using. Software's like a marriage, right? Sometimes familiarity is what you want. Better the devil you know and all that, because changing is a big thing. You know, they say that divorce and moving house are the things that will really trip you up in life. But I would say probably changing DJ software is as well. Pick one and stick with it. Do yourself a favor. So Milton says, Rekordbox all the way from the start for my very first gear up to what I'm using now. That's actually another good thing about Rekordbox, because Pioneer DJ and Alpha Theta make that equipment from the tiniest DJ controllers all the way up to the Pro gear. You can use the same platform from the very beginning to being an utter professional, if that's where it takes you, which none of the others have actually got. You know, I'm the first critic of them. I really am. I think they've got a lot of things they need to fix, but they are dominant. And so if you are wanting to stick with the name that you're going to see all the way through your DJ career, it's that one, for better or for worse. DJ Mac Attack says, Serato abandons a lot of products. Do you remember Serato Remote and Serato Video? Serato Video is still in there, I think, but it's just, you're right, it might as well be abandoned. You know, a lot of software companies will try things and then abandon them, right? I think because some things don't work, I don't think that means the whole company is worthless. But you're quite right. And also hardware, you know, hardware is not supported that was made for Serato. And same with Rekordbox. Rekordbox has just stopped supporting hardware unless you start paying them, which I think is, again, you know, it's not the best. So yeah, there's no perfection going on here for certain. This is from Easy DJ, who is talking about, I think you're talking about Traktor, saying they've improved a lot of things, but under the hood, it does look and operate still the same. Yeah, Traktor, they're kind of bolting bits on to make it better, I think is a fair way of putting it. How are you Serato users doing with the new Apple Music streaming? While I love it, I've noticed it slows down Serato a lot. Yes, a lot of people have been saying they've had problems with the Apple Music streaming integration in Serato, which has recently come to a lot of DJ systems. So you're not alone there, Sarah, if that helps you. So Justin says, I've got a Alpha Theta Flex 10 and I use Serato. Do you have any tips about transitioning from Serato to Rekordbox? Should I even consider it? Well, you get Rekordbox with that unit to try, so there's nothing wrong with trying that. One of my tips is to use a piece of software called DJCU, DJ Conversion Utility. It's made by my friend, but that's not why I'm recommending it. I'm recommending it because it's the best at the job. Costs you about $20 or $30, one-off purchase. And DJ Conversion Utility will let you take your libraries and your cue points and your playlists and your loops and all that stuff from any software and get it to any other software. So if you do want to switch platforms, that's the best way of doing it, because other services that do that, and there's some very good ones out there, are subscription. And subscription for something you maybe are only going to use once feels a bit weird. But their software, you can buy it, and if you use it once or twice a year, then you know you've got your money's worth. But it is worth thinking about what you're going to do if you switch software with all the work you've done in the platform you're currently using, because you can't just open a different type of DJ software and expect all that work to come across. Sadly, it doesn't. So Traktor is dated, says Anosh, but it certainly deserves a place. Its stems features were 10 years ago. Yeah, no, they weren't. They weren't. Yes, Traktor, you could have a track which contained an a cappella and an instrumental and a drum track and a bass line 10 years ago. You could. The trouble is the software couldn't produce those tracks for you, and no one else would either. So yes, they had the feature technically, but no one used it. The real leap in stems was when AI really and modern chips made it so that you can just press a button on any piece of music you're playing and get an instant a cappella or instant drums or whatever. So that was the big difference. But thank you for that, Anosh. So, you know, one other thing I want to mention, we're gonna go in a minute, but one other thing I want to mention is that's been raised by Uno Nice, who says, once I learn Serato, I'm going to try Djay Pro. Now, I've said to you here, because we're at school, we teach people, and we don't teach people to use DJ software, or rather we do, but we do it so that we can then teach them to DJ on it. We want you to be a DJ, not a DJ software expert. The becoming a DJ software expert is a very wise thing to do on your way to being a DJ, but we're not here to, you know, it's a means to an end. We get no excitement over teaching you how to use your hardware or software. We want to teach you to do the clever stuff, the fun stuff, the creative stuff. But pro DJs will just settle on, well, honestly, they'll settle on this. That's what they all use, right? So there's no debate going on there. But hobby DJs like us and like Uno Nice here, we don't have to do that. So while I say to you, you know, pick one software, don't deviate from it, breaking up with your software is worse than breaking up with your wife or husband, you know, while I say all these slightly jokey things, the truth is, if you're really into it, by all means, try all these platforms. A lot of people get a lot of satisfaction out of having Djay Pro on their iPad and using Rekordbox when they're out DJing in their local venue. But they like to use Serato at home with their record decks, and they dabble on Traktor and stuff. That's absolutely fine. But the trap I don't want you to fall into is thinking you have to do that. Because you don't, right? You're not going to become a better DJ, and no one's going to look down on you if you haven't got the faintest clue how to even turn on every DJ platform apart from the one you use. That's absolutely fine. That's all I mean by pick a platform and stick to it. And our final comment for the day is going to come from well, it's just going to highlight the fact that you know, this is a debate that rolls on and on. It's from Half God, Half Beast. I love your name. I've got a friend who uses Serato and my friend loves it. And I've got another friend that uses VirtualDJ and my friend loves that. And it seems to me that they're both good, but they are different from each other. And that's the truth, they are. All platforms are slightly different, and it's better the devil you know at the end of the day. Look, I hope this has been useful to you. Do remember that you can head over and get the full thing on Digital DJ Tips, where there is an article called Best DJ Software 2025. Not only do I cover everything we've talked about here, we also move into looking at all the platforms individually, but there's lots and lots of links here to further information and further reading if you are trying to choose a DJ platform and you're not sure, including links to our courses. And just as an example, this is the Rekordbox Made Easy course, because the best way to become a better DJ literally without playing a single song, without performing a single mix, is just to work out how your DJ software works properly. Because the confidence you get and also the calmness you have when you're performing, knowing that whatever happens, you know what's just happened and you know how to fix it, is priceless. And that is all the stuff that marks good DJs and great DJs apart. Good DJs can kind of do the job. Great DJs, they understand everything that's happening and they can put it right when it goes wrong, and they can access those features that the people behind them have never even figured out. And basically that's all about knowing your software. So while we do say move past your software, move past your hardware, do it after you've learned it properly. And we have courses for Serato, Traktor and Rekordbox, by the way. Okay, we are done for 2025, but not on live shows and free lessons, just on software. This time next year, we'll be back again with the 2026 roundup, God willing. But in the meantime, we are going to take a little break because it's Easter and we take a break at the end of this winter term now, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with our live shows and so on. So if you are taking a bit of time off over this period, enjoy yourselves. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. But from Phil here in the studio, get good, get out there, make the moments. See you very soon. Bye bye for now.